All right, welcome everybody to today's team training. We are going to go through some things today, and we're going to just outline and create a framework. And then if anybody needs personal or individual help, we can definitely have that, discussion and meeting on the backs of this. So last week, what we did is we broke down our business model. And when you break down the business model and you look at the different components that drive our success, you start to understand that we have a whole model, the different components that people can pick and choose or use the complete model depending on what they really need, and what their individual goals are or what their distribution goals are. So today we're going to leave that. And once again, that is recorded. That's in place for you guys to review, for your new agents to review. Also, before that, we did a basic, intermediate, and advanced Money Max account training. We did a basic, intermediate, and advanced building, recruiting, marketing, lead generation. So all that stuff's there. But today we're going to get in the heart of execution, which are IPAs. Those are income producing activities. These are the tasks that will absolutely, guys, and make sure you understand this, make or break your business. The goal is to equip you with the tools and strategies to focus on the actions that are actually going to get you the results that you're looking for. Why are income producing activities important and why do they matter? Well, because they lead to income and revenue. So if you don't have any income and revenue, you're going to find out fairly quickly you don't have a business that can support you, your lifestyle, your goals. Remember, an entrepreneur sacrifices their paycheck. So in order to create revenue and income, we have to have a plan of action. That includes the most important part, which are income producing activities. These are the direct actions that are going to lead to generating revenue. These include tasks like reaching out to prospects, following up with clients, recruiting partners. Everything else is secondary. And you're going to see that as we walk through this education today. The IPAs, if you really want to understand what the IPAs are, it's the stuff that you don't want to do. It's the uncomfortable stuff. It's the stuff that you would rather put off and do at the bottom of the list. You need to reverse that list. You need to just inverse that and reverse that and put all the stuff that you don't want to do at the very top of the list, because I guarantee you most all those are going to be income producing activities. You need to understand your ratios. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So what does that mean? Well, your job is to identify and prioritize those high impact activities that actually ensure success. So if 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions, that means 80% of your actions, the majority of what you're spending your time on, are not producing results. So just like what we just talked about, if you reverse or inverse some of these ratios and rules and things like that, you will find that your business starts to open up. And when we open up our business, that means more lead generation, more book meetings, more recruits, more clients, and then more revenue and income, which is something you're all looking for. Build your base and understand what are income producing activities, and then identify those and make sure that you're doing these on a day in, day out basis to ensure success, and then teach other people how to do the same. Remember, you can't fix other people from a coaching or a mentoring standpoint until you fix yourself. If you want to delay income producing activities, well, you're going to find out that the business is just not going to be there. When you neglect IPAs, you risk wasting time on unproductive tasks. That's losing momentum, and that's falling short on your goals. So what you want to do is avoid getting stuck in over planning or procrastination. Remember, if you're waiting for the perfect time to do something or the perfect way that it's going to look, all that is just a veiled way to procrastinate doing what we're talking about, which is income producing activities. Action is the fundamental and the key to your success. If you're not willing to go out and have the activities geared towards income producing activities, then you're going to fall short and you're going to drift. You're going to have a bunch of white space on your calendar and you're going to quit. You're going to look for reasons to justify your excuses of why it didn't work out. So what are your core IPAs for 2025? Well, it's going to depend on really what you're doing in the business and what your goals are. Every one of us, though, has to concentrate on marketing and lead generation. So even if you're going to take a consultant role and other people are giving you leads that are assigned to you, that's great. That doesn't take away from your responsibility to self-market and self-generate leads. And that means understanding your markets. Now, this is not designed today to go in and break down all the markets and what you say to these people and how to say it. That is actually in the basic, intermediate, and advanced marketing and lead generation. So you can go back to any of those trainings and view, but this is just designed to let you guys know that your warm market is not something when you start something, you call a few people, send a couple emails, and then that's done. Your warm market is something you continually go back to. It's also a walk of life thing, because as you're coming across people you haven't seen in a while, or people that you didn't remember in the first round of reaching out, we're not saying that you have to build your business solely on your own warm market. But what we are saying is you have to help people develop their markets, because if you have somebody come in as an agent and they go immediately to the cold market, that's going to be a hard hill to really go up. So what you want to do is help them understand how to reach out to this. And once again, we have extensive training on this, but this is reaching out to existing network of friends, family, previous clients. What for? Not to pitch them, not to sell them. You're looking for two things. You're looking to get their opinions. Hey, I'm doing this. Can you offer me some constructive criticism, some feedback on this? Or, hey, this might not be necessarily something that you might need, but would you take a look for the purposes of seeing if you can refer me anybody that might be able to use our services, our education, whatever it might be. Use these personal conversations to build the trust and open these doors. Once again, you can't neglect the warm market, because if you do on the build out, you're going to miss some easy sales for some agents coming in. And also from a mission standpoint, if we're not getting in front of the people that we know and we care about, what's the purpose of actually doing this? Because if you believe in what you're selling, if you believe in what you're trying to do, it should be pretty easy to go to the people that you know and talk about this stuff. Common market. All the common market is just means that you have done something, or if you've attended somewhere, you've been a member of something that somebody else has. And that's going to buy you a few seconds. Once again, we have extensive training in the backlogs of these meetings for you guys, but lead with the shared commonality, whatever it is, school, group, society, whatever it might be, to open the door in conversations to buy only this, the first few seconds. That's all you need, because first few seconds, most of the time, people are that knee-jerk reaction, getting rid of the conversation. Why is this person contacting me, etc.? Oh, this person went to my school or whatever. Even though they don't know you, it's going to buy you a few seconds. That's really all you need. And this is going to come from networking events, business groups. You're building connections through shared interest, shared commonalities, getting those first few seconds to be able to get into your conversation or communication. What does the common market lead back to? It leads back to your mission. If you're going to say, hey, we're both a member, we both went to this school, and then try to sell them something, that destroys the whole approach. What you're looking for is going back to the mission. This is what we're trying to do. This is why it's important. This is why I'm contacting you. Once again, opinions, referrals, open up conversation. Don't pitch, don't sell, don't recruit hardcore in these markets. You're asking for opinions, for referrals, for constructive criticism and feedback. And then, social media. If your marketing plan does not include social media, it's not done, guys. You may love social media, you may hate social media, but there are a ton of ways to create, brand awareness, lead generation, engagement from these. So platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. There are a lot of platforms. There are some that I haven't been on in a couple of years. There's some I've never even downloaded. So I'm not telling you have to be a master of all these platforms. What I'm saying is you have to have a few platforms that you're active on, you're consistent on, and that you're building some type of a presence and profile that will hopefully attract the right type of clients and partners to you. What are you posting? Well, you're not posting what most people are posting, which is that constant sell, recruit. You're posting educational, entertaining, and brand awareness content about you, your services, and then you use direct messaging to start conversations. Remember, everything goes back in lead generation and marketing to one key point. You're in a contact business. If you know how to talk to people, or you can learn how to talk to people, it's not a hard thing to do. Network, just show interest in other people, build interest in what you're doing. This all just becomes a sorting process. And then, as frigid as it may look, the cold market has excellent opportunities. Why? Because you can make the most data-driven decisions in the cold market about what's working and what's not. So, you don't want to hesitate to reach out to new prospects via cold emails, cold calls, direct messages. Now, if you're making 200 phone calls a day and you're not getting a hold of anybody, you have to understand how people's communication preferences have changed, and you have to adapt to that. You want to work not just hard, but you also want to work smart. use scripts, guys. If you're just going and having random conversations with random people all the time, it's going to be very, very tough for you to funnel that into an endpoint or an end location that we call a call to action. So use scripts, and especially if they're working. If they're not working so well, go back and use AI. Say, hey, my script's not working. What's wrong with it? It'll give you some key points to change. But focus on the value that you can offer in the cold market. And once again, personas. If you're developing a persona, you're identifying that persona, letting that persona know how you help personas just like them do whatever it is that you're offering, it becomes a lot easier to get in front of that same type of person with a message that resonates, getting them to raise their hand. Yes, I want more information. Yes, I want the guide. Yes, I would like to speak to you. Got plenty of training on that as well, guys, developing personas. So client acquisition and education. This is about value proposition, offering free financial analysis, custom savings reports to engage potential clients. Even before that, we lead with education. Remember, education, if you're looking at things like the technology for the cash management system, the MoneyMax account, it's education, leads to analysis, and a demo. That's it. So all we're doing is we're teaching people, hey, you're in a financial fight. You need the best tools to win. So we can host webinars, presentations, not about our products, but about our solutions, how we solve problems. And then we customize recommendations for our clients to address their unique needs. When you're sitting down in front of somebody, you're not talking in a blanketed statements. You're talking directly to them about how you're going to help them reach their goals. Now, if this is a part of the business that you're not doing, and maybe you're just doing marketing, understand your role. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you're going to really take on and understand what we're trying to do here, the key points about client acquisition is it's a client-centered approach. You always position your solutions as tools to solve their specific needs, talking to them as an individual, not just generic offerings. Building trust through education. We lead with education. Somebody doesn't want to be educated, guess what? Can't help somebody who doesn't want to learn how to get ahead. You can't do anything with that person. So clients are more likely to work with you when they feel informed and empowered, not talked down to, but focus on education rather than actually selling. And then it's a long-term relationship. It's not a one and done sale on the phone. If that's the type of business model somebody's looking for, it's not really what we do. We develop relationships, and we want to emphasize that your role doesn't end after initial transaction. Especially with the model that we created, you're here to provide guidance and support for the long term. What does that mean for you? It means more points of monetization within the model because you're helping them with different points. It's a lot easier to help the same client get different things taken care of than to go out and find, 3 or 4 new clients. What about partner recruitment and development? Well, this is one of my favorite things. I love to build, I love to recruit, I love to help other people build businesses. So what we want to do here is identify individuals who align with our business model, our vision, our mission, our core values, and then invite them in. You want to invite potential partners to explore the opportunity through discovery calls, presentations, and then help them understand that we mentor and train new partners to ensure their success. We've got presentations coming out for recruitment, for sales. So those will be released to you guys pretty soon. But just understand everything that we do leads with value-based propositions, mostly on educating the other party on how we're going to help them solve their problems or reach their goals. So what are the key points here? It's got to be a mutually beneficial relationship. It can't be a parasitic relationship. So that ensures that partners see how aligning with our business model benefits both their clients and their personal growth. And then empowerment through training. There are so many people in financial industry, we'll call it, that don't get mentored, don't get trained. And that's why a lot of the negativity comes in the financial industry from agents not knowing really what to do. So highlight that success isn't about experience, it's about the willingness to learn and execute with the tools and support provided. Yes, in the interview process, we are wanting to know, what have you done past? But we're more important, the more important area of concentration is, what are you going to do going forward? What are your goals? What are you willing to do? How are we going to get there? How does everybody work together? And that's the bigger picture. Show each partner how they contribute to the larger mission of helping individuals and families achieve financial freedom. If somebody just wants to earn money, it's not enough, guys, of a motivating factor. They have to understand what we're doing, how it supports the mission and the bigger picture. And if they can get behind that, it'll help them get through the learning curve, the obstacles, the roadblocks that agents have before they get this fully up and running. And then follow-ups. Not many people follow up with prospects, clients. I mean, there's data, there's statistics that help you understand how pathetic people do in this, but you got to follow up consistently. So you have different tools. One of the tools that you should have is just a simple spreadsheet. Who are the people that are locked into the final action step to revenue and income? And there's something that you need to do to either get them over the hump or to get them disqualified. You look at that multiple times a day. You resolve leads. You don't push people into stuff that they don't want to do, but you are resolving the leads. Follow up consistently with those prospects and partners to keep the conversation alive. Send thank you notes, educational materials, check-in messages to nurture relationship. Guys, you would not believe how just check-ins, newsletters, things create business for you. Understand what you do, how you position yourself, and then if you do the things that we're asking you to do, all of a sudden things start popping up, an email response here to a client newsletter, something else. They need something else from you. What are the key points here? Consistency is key, guys. Following up is not a one-time activity, but an ongoing process. Most of the time it's within, if you're talking about prospects, it's within that 5 to 7 time intervals of following up before really, a decision is made. So consistent communication keeps prospects and partners engaged and reinforces your dedication to their success. That's what you're trying to get people to buy into, is a desired financial end destination they're excited about with a legit path to get there. And you're part of the coaching that's going to ensure success. Add value in every single interaction. You're not following up for the sake of following up. You add something meaningful, whether it's a helpful resource, insightful article, personalized message, and then always show appreciation. Simple thank you note, guys, does a lot these days when everything's so digital. A message can go a long way in showing that you value their time and effort. These small acts create goodwill and they foster trust, which builds rapport and credibility, which makes a lot of the other conversations that you do, not necessarily sales presentations, just client interactions. And then upselling. Once that trust is actually established, you can introduce complementary solutions like life insurance, retirement, estate planning, employee benefits. We have a whole plethora of services, and they're all designed to get people in a better and better and better financial position. So what are the key points here? Where you're going to build on established trust. Once you have a client or a partner and they trust you and they see the value in the initial solution, let's say it's the MoneyMax account, they're more open to exploring additional services that align with your goals. How is that going to come up? Well, we offer the coaching that goes along with that. The coaching ensures they understand how to, use this technology, but it also gives us more times in front of that client to look at the other parts of the building blocks of the financial plan and help them to make sure there's no deficiencies, weaknesses, or holes in their financial plan. Then position as value-added service. Present upselling and cross-selling opportunities as a way to maximize not your, but their financial outcomes. You're always concerned with how is this going to look for them, and then personalized recommendations. You want to tailor those suggestions based on your client's unique circumstances and needs. If you're offering an estate plan, it's not, hey, the next step is to get an estate plan. Why would the estate plan be beneficial at this point in the conversation? Tailor it. Time management and productivity tools. So here's the tips. Block everything. I'm not just talking about professionally, personally. If you need, go to the gym. If you need to do whatever, block that stuff, but also block your professional stuff, because what you'll find is the more you start blocking off time, the more you get done. The less you start blocking time, what's going to happen is instead of you running the day is going to run you. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and all of a sudden you're at the same exact point you were 3, 6, 9, 12 months ago, and that's the worst place to be as an entrepreneur. So dedicate specific time slots for each of your income-producing activities as well as other activities, and then block time, 9 to 11 for calls, 2 to 3 for follow-ups, 4 to 5 for the gym, whatever it might be. You block your day, you're going to get more out of it. If you start getting more out of the day, you're going to beat your internal and your external competition. There's a bunch of different systems that you guys can use. We don't throw anything on you that says you have to use this. We got some things that you guys can access from our side, but you need tools like CRM systems because it leads to organization. If you're unorganized, things fall through the cracks. What's falling through the cracks? Revenue, income, growth. You don't want those things to fall through the cracks. So you need something to organize your leads, track the progress, manage your pipeline, make sure things are being created and resolved. If you create and resolve leads, you're going to find this business is just a sorting process. And then avoid and eliminate distractions. If you're the type of person where your tone is on, for your phone and it's dinging, it's ringing, for every Facebook alert, for every text message, and that distracts you, put it on silent, put it face down, and get to work for a little while. Limit the time spent on non-producing activities like checking emails, excessively scrolling through social media. Those are things that you do on the off time as a reward for doing the things that you need to do during the time that you need to do it. Creating your IPA plan. This is your checklist. So you want your income producing activities to line up with your goals. You know, are you a producer? Are you a builder? What is your role within the whole model or the components of the model? So step one, you got to list your top income producing activities. Take a moment to write down your 3 to 5 IPAs based on your role. If you're a marketer, if you're a consultant, if you're a builder, if you've been in for 1 day, 1 year, you're going to have different roles, and your IPAs are going to be different based on those roles. So understand where you are right now, what you're trying to get accomplished, and how we're going to accomplish that best through the IPAs. Examples include prospecting, follow-up, recruiting. These are the direct activities that should lead to growth, revenue, and income. Step 2 is, once we do the IPA list, prioritize by impact. Now you're going to rank those activities in order of their potential to generate income. And once again, like I said earlier in this training today, it's going to be the stuff that you don't want to do. It's all the stuff that you don't want to do, the most uncomfortable, is actually going to generate the income for you. So when you look at the stuff you want to do versus don't want to do, and you put that stuff you don't want to do at the bottom, just inverse that or flip that and watch what happens to your business. Focus on the top two that are going to drive the most results. And then step 3, you allocate the time. Map out a daily or weekly schedule for these IPAs. Once again, if it's 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you're blocking off, we've got extensive training on time blocking. And when you look at time blocking and you start blocking appropriately, we've got training on time blocking, how to do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to allocate specific times of specific blocks to ensure consistency. Because if you're just expecting yourself to stay on a routine, your brain's going to love the routine it's on right now. So if you're doing absolutely nothing, you're watching TV in the middle of the day, scrolling through social media, your brain's going to be all right with that. It's habitual. It's going to do the same exact thing. So what you want to do is you're going to set it on a better course. How do you do that? By breaking the old habits, by introducing new habits. And then finally, what you want to do is share. If you keep everything internal, it's a lot easier to not get stuff done because you haven't shared it with anybody. So share your income producing activity plan with someone or a group. We have 12-week years that go on. Another one's going to be starting in February. Those are great places to share some of this stuff, get feedback, understanding what works for other people, what doesn't work for other people, discuss what works well, and brainstorm ways to improve efficiency. Once again, sharing stuff with other people creates a measure of accountability. And when you have accountability, it's a lot easier to get stuff done, because it's not as easy just to justify all of your excuses. And then success metrics and accountability. These are your goals. If you have physical location A and you have no physical location B, can you use a GPS? No, because you don't understand where you're trying to get to. That goes for your clients, that goes for yourself, that goes for your partners. What is it that we're trying to accomplish? Because once we understand the goals, then we can start generating income producing activities to maintain focus on the productivity of reaching those goals. So examples, make 10 prospect calls per day. Now, remember that cell phone that you use, if you haven't made any prospect calls in weeks or months, it's going to feel like it weighs 500 pounds. So you don't want to set a goal of making 100 calls, because you're never going to do that. So set it low, start getting that, and then move the metric up, because that phone is going to start to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. Why? Because you've consistently done something and maintained it to basically form a habit. Generate 5 new leads per week. Schedule 3 discovery calls per week. These are the things you have to think about. What are your goals? What are the IPAs that are going to lead me there? And then I need to document those things for measurement, accountability, and reflection, which are all, once again, part of the things like the 12-week year. The most important part of consistency is how those small daily actions lead to significant long-term growth. 1% better each day creates an enormous growth pattern. 1% decline per day creates an enormous regression. So you have to understand small incremental steps forward is the way that we're asking you to proceed. And then make a to-do list, be accountable, regularly review the progress. You guys need accountability groups. You need, as a leader, if you're building, stay in touch with people. Now, you can't make somebody have activity, but if they are having activity, interact with them, communicate with them. Don't let them feel like they're on a desert island. Accountability is something that will bring people together or force out the partners that maybe don't fit. So regularly review progress through weekly team check-ins or performance dashboards. Be transparent by sharing progress, challenges, and adjustments in meetings. 12-week year is a great way to do that because you have no, whatever happened, right? And you just talk about it. So use accountability as a tool for support, not pressure, but it's designed to offer guidance to help people overcome obstacles. Accountability is not punishment. It's actually a way to get ahead. And when you start looking at that as a huge bridge over to what you're looking for, which is your goals, your income, your revenue, your business growth, accountability starts to be your friend. And celebrate your wins. Now, these are going to be different for different people. A win for me might be a lot different for a win for you. So I want you guys to learn on a self-managing basis and then an agency managing basis how to recognize and reward team members who hit or exceed their goals to foster motivation and sense of accomplishment. Share success stories and examples of effective strategies to inspire and guide the team. Maybe some beginning agent has a real little small win. Maybe they hit their IP of making 10 phone calls. That needs to be celebrated. Even though it's not a direct result, it is something that needs to be celebrated because those are the stepping stones that are going to get your agents to results. Highlight how these wins contribute to the team's collective growth. Remember, if you have a team of people doing stuff collectively, you guys are getting to organizational goals and they're getting to their individual goals as well. So in closing, guys, today, focus on the IPAs that yield the highest impact on your business. Plan your day intentionally, allocate time wisely, and track your progress. These are action steps. Start immediately implementing your IPA plan. What are your goals? What are the income producing activities? What is the time blocks necessary to do that? Track your activities. Remember, measurement allows you to know what's happening or what's not happening. And those results that you can share, during meetings, you can share with your upline, you can share with whoever it is that you're looking to work with that you think will make a good mentor for you. And then remember, success comes from consistent action. Every call you make, every follow-up you do, every relationship you build brings you closer to your goals. If you're not doing that, it's like a slot machine. If you're not pulling the handle on the slot machine, there's never, ever, ever a chance of winning. Now, some of those partners you bring in, some of those clients that you try to bring in, all that's not going to work out perfectly, but by continuing to do what you need to do consistently, you're going to reach your goals. So let's make this year extraordinary by understanding we need to concentrate on what we control the most, which is our goals, our income producing activities, and our time management. And once again, if you need help with this stuff, let us know. If you're willing to go out and do what we ask you to do, we're willing to go behind the scenes and help you map all this out with whatever type of strategies, plans of actions, executions that you need. The only thing that we ask in return is measurement and accountability.